This episode is sponsored by BestLife Coaching Society.
Yeah. Listen, success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire.
I go out and I go get it.
You're in the right place. You're checking out Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
What's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Laura Templeton with us, and she's coming to us from the Pennsylvania area, out of Pennsylvania. It's a lot of areas in Pennsylvania, huh? But she helps people develop the 30-second commercials for networking and video. She helps people find the word that connects with their drive and their businesses. And so I'm thankful to have her on today with the Success Chronicles, the 30-second success. So thank you for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you reaching out and connecting with me on Twitter and seeing if we could have a conversation today. So this is fun.
All right. Well, talk to us about your life story, where you're from, how you grew up, and kind of track it up until now, please.
Sounds like that's a really interesting question. And it's, the whole life story. There's, grew up in Pennsylvania all my life, lived in Bucks County, not far from where I live now.
Mm-hmm.
My dad worked 3 jobs. My mom, stayed home, raised the kids until we all went to school. And then she went to school with us. So I had a great role model. My mom was always had her hand in something, but always made sure she was part of her kids' lives.
Yeah.
Dad, working class family, just absolutely loved spending time with family and being together. And we have a pretty big family. Holidays around our house usually run about 30 to 40 people, depending on the day.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, lots of babies happening these days too. So, growing up in that family atmosphere, I was one of 4 kids. I have three brothers, and went to kind of put myself through college, became an interior and exterior design project manager for a big bank. So I did the whole corporate gig for a while in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and really enjoyed that. But also, I was at a point in my life where I was ready to have children, and very blessed to have my husband's support and the ability to stay home and raise my babies.
Yeah.
And so that was always really important to me, that, being able to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom. But in that position of being home, also found that I wanted to have a little bit of, hand in business and helping support our family too. So I always kind of dabbled in direct sales for a really long time. A couple different companies that I worked with. Started out with books because, as a stay-at-home mom, you want to have all good quality books for your kids, and you don't want to have to pay retail. So wholesale was the way to go with that one. So then I started working a little bit, just sharing them with my friends, and built myself a nice little lucrative business with that. And then that company was actually acquired by another company and went out of business as far as the direct selling end of things. So, but I really liked the experience of direct sales at that point. A lot of people refer to it as network marketing, direct sales, and there's so much that you learn in that capacity, in that direct sales environment. And I stepped into working with a couple other companies along the way. Just absolutely loved all the personal development, getting exposure to people like Darren Hardy and John Maxwell, and, just these amazing thought leaders of our time who have had such an impression on the sales industry, Bob Berg, and just different people that just have been a blessing in my life, even through their writing or through connections over time. Some of the high level executives that I've been exposed to working with, companies like Stream Energy and Longaberger. And there's just been an amazing assortment of people in my life. And, I stayed home with my kids, but I worked too, built a career, built some teams, and just really connected with a lot of people and enjoyed that along the way. But one of the biggest things for me in that capacity was building a business around people. And so networking was always a natural fit for me in using that as part of a marketing strategy. And that's where the idea for my business that I created from scratch came from. Just stepped into a leadership role at one point in my business, and started looking at the members in the group, in a networking group that I belong to. As once you step into that leadership position, you start looking at the people differently. You start thinking, oh my gosh, they're mine. How can I help them? What can I do? What can I do to support them? In what way? And started offering, one of the things that kept bubbling to the surface was that need for somebody to help them with their 30-second commercials, because so many people really struggle with that on a regular basis. Either we say too much, or we don't know what to say. So it's just struggle. You see somebody who's amazingly confident, totally put together, walk into a room and become a ball of mush when they have to do their 30-second commercial. And it's quite amazing when you have the ability to help them through that. So I started offering my services, and I'm like, I understood the formula. Brian Tracy talks about the formula of how to do your 30-second commercial. I learned it way, many, many years ago from doing, I guess 15 years in direct sales, so I learned it along the way of what that formula is, how to connect with your audience. And started offering my help. And it's just amazing just to see the transformation in people once they had a 30-second commercial. And then word got out that I was helping people. So I started getting more and more requests to speak in front of groups. So for about 2 years, I kind of played with the idea and just kind of developed a business idea and laid it out. And one day I came home and said to my husband, I think I know what my next business is going to be. And he looked at me, he's like, are you crazy? Are people going to pay you for that? And I'm like, honey, they already are. So this is probably a good thing that I was already asking people to pay me before I came home and told them I was stepping away from, another company that was already paying me on a regular basis. So to do my own thing, but, just stepping into that whole true entrepreneurial limelight was amazing, because, when you have that fallback position of other people who can support you and answer you and give you what you need to move forward in your business is one thing. But when you're on your own and there's a business that you're building and you're creating that model from ground up, from scratch, it's pretty awesome. It's also scary.
Yes.
Okay, well, you don't really know what success or failure is really going to look like, because you're just creating. You're in that position of creating, and what do you want it to look like is really where you start kind of where your creative juices flow.
Yeah, you're figuring it out on the fly, huh?
Exactly. So, so that, I know that's the long-winded version of my life story, but that's how I got to where I'm at right now. And, 3 years into this, and it's been pretty cool, being able to speak to groups and do workshops and online courses. And I've helped a tremendous amount of people with their 30-second commercials and understanding how to network on a more effectively. That's, that whole process it's not just your message. We kind of dig a little bit deeper, who's your ideal client? How do you connect with them? Where are you finding them? Once you've got their attention, how do you cultivate those relationships? It's all about building those connections and really building those relationships that will support you and the people that you're connecting with, not just now, but for years to come. It's helping people understand that it's not a sale. It's more about connection. It's more about relationship. When you stop thinking about trying to sell and start thinking about how can I help other people, the sales come naturally. That, those doors start to open up. When you stop trying to sell and start trying to support one another, and through that, your messaging has to carry that authentic desire to help other people.
Right. And I think, you talked about relationships. I think, my pastor said this: life moves at the speed of relationships.
Yes, it does. It does.
When you have great connections, like you're talking about, then, it gives you, great relationships, which also gives you a fulfilled life, just like you said, what can I do to help?
Right.
It's not, what can I benefit from this? It's what can I do to help? And then when you have that mindset and mentality, and from the heart, genuine, like you said, you get the other stuff. The big man looks out for you and takes care of you in return.
Right. Right. And it's what you set your heart and your mind to really matters most. When you are reflecting those genuine qualities, that's what you receive back in return.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. What are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Marrying the most amazing man I've ever met. I love my husband dearly. Married 30 years this year.
Man, that's cool.
We've been together 35. And I have 2 amazing kids. They're adults now, which is awesome. And yes, I'm a grandmom, so that would be number 2 is my amazing kids. And just having the ability to, the third thing that, as far as the things that I've accomplished, is being able to start something of my own.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal.
Okay.
So,
what's your definition of success?
I think the definition of success is different to everybody.
Right.
I think really it's where your beliefs are, that being genuine and being heartfelt, feeling that you get when you've accomplished something. Success is a continual process.
Correct. I agree.
It is a continual process. We're striving to succeed. We're striving to move forward. We're striving to do more, be more, and want more. So success is, that picture is constantly changing. Somebody said, okay, well, one time somebody asked me, okay, so when you were young, what did you dream that you would be? What did you always want to be when you grew up? I said, I wanted to be a mom. Well, that dream came true. So once that dream came true, what was next? So there's that next success, that next step. Okay, next step is, watching my babies grow up and helping them to become successful. That was success for me. Now it's, building a business and wanting to help more and more people. That's success to me. Having the desire to say, okay, what's next for my husband and I, now that our kids are grown up, now that we have grandbabies, what do we want next? That's success. So your picture of success always really changes. It's just how you approach it. I think, it's like one of those things you were talking about your pastor. And I think it goes even back to what we're called to do changes, because we get to be like, okay, we feel led to do something. We accomplish that. And now we feel led to do the next thing.
Yeah.
So there's that constant moving forward towards the next success, the next picture of what we see that we want. Because what happens if you get somebody who has goals in mind, right? You can have this amazing goal and you want to climb Mount Olympus. Well, what happens when you climb Mount Olympus and you haven't thought about what's next? Right?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to think about what's next. Okay? Success just doesn't stop there.
Correct.
It's a continuing process. Moving forward and being willing to try things, fail, and then try something new
Yeah.
Learn from your failures.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Learn from your failures.
It's life's a process. We're not designed to just stop once we get to a certain point. We're called to keep moving. We're called to keep serving. We're called to keep pushing to the next thing and being open and receptive to what's in front of us.
That's it. I totally agree. What do you think it takes to achieve success?
I think it that openness, being willing to try things, being willing to put yourself out there. How often, I don't know, are you familiar with Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method?
No.
It's that whole idea of, sometimes we allow fear to hold us back. But what if we said, okay, for today, I'm not going to allow that fear to hold me back. What if I try something different? I could fail. I could fall on my face. But you know what? Tomorrow's a new day.
Yes.
Faith gives us an opportunity to start every day new. You wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. What happened yesterday is totally, totally different. It's in the past. All you can do is learn from what happened and try something new today.
And go attack the new day.
Yeah.
Like its own,
absolutely. And I think the other thing too, that ability to reach for success is thinking about the people that you surround yourself with, people that elevate you, people that are willing to support you and help you grow. I had a really good friend of mine years ago in direct sales, Presley Swigert, said to me one time, he said, you look at and I'm sure this, and I think he learned this from Zig Ziglar, when if look at the 5 people that you surround yourself with, and you'll see a reflection of yourself. So if you're surrounding yourself with positive, inspiring people who want to succeed, you can't help but become like them.
So true. So true.
So,
I like it. I like that analogy. That's good stuff.
Well, and again, it's all about surrounding yourself with good people. Those people that, and you know what? Some people are like, oh, well, I'm kind of isolated where I'm at. You're not. Look at the power of the internet now.
Yeah.
Right? Who are you tapping into? Who are you listening to? I get Darren Hardy's Darren Daily every day on my phone. It's a little video clip every morning. I start my morning with him.
Yeah.
And that came from network marketing. That's where I met him. I found out about him. I learned more about him. Surrounding yourself with those positive people that are in the books that we read. Next week I'm going to see Jen Sincero. You know who she is, right?
Yes. That's awesome.
So she's actually coming to Newtown. I have a group of my friends that we all kind of love, follow. She's got a new book coming out. So we're going to be part of her new book launch. So it's fun to get to meet the people that you've been following for years in books. But if you never meet them, even if you just follow them online, you can't help but be inspired by them.
No doubt.
They push you forward. They help you to grow. That personal development is such a key element of who we are.
Yes. Virtual mentors.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And like you said, your faith, you start with a good book every morning. You can't help but go, have a great day.
That's it.
Right?
If
you start your day on the right path, at least you've started out with the right foot.
You're headed in the right direction.
Yes. Yep.
There it is. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here. So thank you. I'm glad we connected. We'll definitely have to stay connected. For sure.
And thank you guys for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
God bless. Take care.
All righty. Go get it. Thank you to BestLife Coaching Society for sponsoring this episode of the Success Chronicles. www.bestlifecoachingsociety.com